This is one of my absolute favorites. It's a blueberry-ricotta tart that uses a very small amount of sugar, a little bit of butter, whole grains, wheat germ, all the good stuff, and it's topped with a beautiful crown of blueberries. So let's get started on the crust. So use half a cup all-purpose flour and half a cup of whole wheat flour. To that, I'm adding a quarter cup of blanched almonds that have been ground, 2 tablespoons of toasted wheat germ, and then 2 tablespoons of light brown sugar. We're gonna add half a teaspoon of coarse salt and a half a teaspoon of baking powder. So let's pulse all these dry ingredients together to get them nice and combined. To this mixture, I'm adding a very judicious amount of butter, unsalted, half a stick. The idea is to cut the butter into the dry ingredients, and that's what's going to give our tart shell a really nice flaky tenderness. So we'll pulse this. To this, I'm going to add about a quarter cup of buttermilk. Now the buttermilk and the baking powder are going to react when this is baking and help give it a nice light crust. Pulse this in. And you want to pulse it just until it looks like wet sand and is starting to come together. This is perfect. Let's transfer this mixture to a piece of plastic wrap. Okay, so I'm going to make sure everything is evenly incorporated here. So pat this into a disc, then wrap it tightly in plastic wrap. Make sure to get all the air out. And then let this chill in the refrigerator for an hour. So on a lightly dusted surface, let's roll the dough out. This is also a really, really easy dough to work with. So after you make a few rolls, give it a quarter turn. Okay, so this is the size of my tart pan. You can get an idea of where you are. This looks nice. So let's just roll. Okay. Now, if you have a break or tear, don't fret. Just patch it up with a little bit of water and extra scraps of dough. I'm just going to trim the top using my rolling pin. Over the top we go. Looks great. Now we need to dock. Docking helps the bottom of the crust cook evenly and make it nice and golden brown. To make sure this is nice and chilled before we bake it, we're going to throw it in the freezer for about 15 minutes. The tart shell is nice and chilled, so let's get ready to bake. We're going to blind bake it with beans for half the cooking so that it cooks all the way through nice and thoroughly and doesn't buckle. In we go. So this is going to bake at 375 for about 25 minutes. My tart shell is nice and chilled. You definitely don't want to add the filling to a hot one. So let's work on this ricotta filling. Start by taking 1 cup and a quarter of ricotta cheese. To this, add a quarter teaspoon cinnamon. The cinnamon goes so nicely with the blueberries. 1/4 teaspoon coarse salt, and a tablespoon of honey. We're going to pulse this together until it's smooth. It smells amazing already. You can really smell the cinnamon and the honey. So we'll take this mixture and fill our tart shell. So all the filling's out, smelling delicious. Just want to make sure we get it all smoothed into one even layer. So now let's add our blueberries. I'm going to stir 2 tablespoons of honey into the blueberries. This is 2 cups of blueberries. Nice and glistening. Now this might be easier to do just using your hands. So sprinkle the berry mixture over the tart. Looks wonderful. We just want to let this set up in the fridge until it's firm, and that's going to be about 2 hours or so. Can't wait to try. Looks wonderful. Ooh, nice crunchy crust, creamy filling. I love that this is a healthy dessert that's sweet, but not too sweet.